and welcome to the Mindset Coach podcast, the show where coaches and coaches-to-be tune in to learn how to integrate mindset coaching tools and neuroscience-based techniques into their practice and grow and scale a coaching business they love. I'm your host, Lara Young, founder of the Mindset Coach Academy, author of 52 Adventures to Change Your Life, award-winning business owner, coach, and coach trainer. Tune into this podcast each Friday, free on all the podcasting apps, and click to subscribe so you never miss an episode. And remember, mindset is everything. How to take action when you really don't feel like it. Hey, if you're anything like me, some days, you're on fire and you're really in the zone, right? You really want to take action. And sometimes for whole days or maybe just for moments, you really can't be bothered. You really don't know what to do. Maybe it's you're procrastinating, or maybe you just have that feeling of boredom or apathy that washes over you and you just can't be bothered. And that's natural. As humans, we're not designed necessarily to be in the action state all the time. But we need to be, don't we, when we've got goals to achieve, when we're running businesses, when we have health and fitness goals, when we are parenting and running a home and in a relationship. All of those things require that at some level we take some kind of action at least some of the time. And so you want to be as productive and effective as you can and really combat, I guess, those moments where you just don't feel like doing anything at all, but you know the consequences of not acting are not really in your best interests. Hey, I know that we all need to rest, right? So I'm not talking about being the Energizer Bunny all the time. What I'm talking about is giving you some tips to help you on those occasions where you really need to be getting on with something, but for whatever reason, you're just not doing it. So let's start. I'm going to give you, I think, about 5 or 6 tips, and they're all pretty short. Try them on, see which ones work best for you, and do let me know how you get on with them. Now, one of the very first things that prevents us from taking action a lot of times is actually not knowing the action that we need to take. And so we procrastinate. And so my recommendation for you is once you've set your goals, once you know what it is that you want to achieve, I want you to write down a list of everything that you need to do to make that a reality. So all of those subtasks, it could be anything from making a phone call, for example, doing some research, plotting out a running route, getting the ingredients ready to create a healthy, nutritious meal. Depending on your goal, it's going to be different, of course. But I want you to write down all the different things that you know that you need to do in order to achieve that goal. And then what I want you to do is look down that list and you're going to time block it. So what you're going to do is you're going to identify the things on that list that will take you 15 minutes, the things that will take you 30 minutes, the things that will take you 45 minutes, and the things that will take you up to an hour or beyond. Then what you're going to do is once you've done that, you're going to grab 4 different Post-it notes. So lots of different colours there. They come in all different colours, don't they? So what you're going to do, for example, is you're going to take the yellow Post-its and you're going to write down on every single one, you're going to write down each of those tasks that take around 15 minutes that that you need to do to achieve your goal. Then you're going to do the same thing. Choose another colour, in this case blue, and identify and write down those tasks that are going to take you 30 minutes. Now, it's a separate Post-it note for each task. Then you're going to do 45 minutes, exactly the same process, and then you're going to do 60 minutes. So that at the end of it, you'll have a selection of Post-it notes with all those tasks that you know that you need to achieve in order to achieve your goal. So it makes it really, really easy then, because what I want you to do is to pop those Post-it notes onto a wall in your office, onto the fridge, onto a whiteboard or a notice board, so that when you get into that feeling where you're in inertia, you simply take one of the 15-minute Post-it notes and do the task that's on it. And you know what? It doesn't matter what task it is, because you've already identified that you need to accomplish that task in order to move you towards your goal. And then you just keep going. Once we start to take action, action breeds action. And then you take another 15-minute, or if you've got 30 minutes to spare, you take one of the 30-minute Post-it notes. And you just keep going and complete the tasks as you go with the time that you have available, knowing that everything that you're doing is moving you closer to where you actually want to be. And so once you've done that, of course, once you've completed the task, it's a great idea to have a couple of glass jars. And what you do is when you've completed the task, you're going to pop that task or that Post-it note into that glass jar as a visual representation of the action that you're taking. Then what you're going to do is when you get a result from taking that action, so it could be a new client, it could be engagement on your social media, it could be losing a kilo, it could be running an extra mile in under a certain amount of time, you're going to write those results down and pop those in another glass jar. And then you can very easily see the correlation between the action you're taking and the results that you're getting. So my Post-it note activity is the very first thing that I'd recommend you do when you're wanting to move from inertia into action and when you really don't feel like taking action. Like what you hear so far? Make sure you never miss a show by clicking the subscribe button now. This podcast is made possible by listeners like you, so thank you for your support. Now back to the show. The next one is really short and simple. When you do start taking action, just keep going. If you go beyond the 2-minute mark, the likelihood is that you're going to keep going beyond that as well. Start small, increase as you go the amount of time and energy that you're spending on focusing on one task. And soon you will just naturally keep going at it. The next one it comes from Mel Robbins. It's the 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, which is kind of like, I say with my children, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, blast off. And it's that whole action stations. So if, for example, you've set the alarm in the morning and you're really tempted to hit that snooze button, you can use that. Say that to yourself, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. And then go. And that is really, it's kind of like, I don't know, as a child, did you ever go to really cold swimming pools or in the ocean and you just did that countdown, right, we're going in now. And then there's that point of no return. So that's a really great one from Mel Robbins to do 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. And then on 1, of course, you're going to jump or you're going to take the action that you need to take. Now, the next thing that you can do is to remind yourself why you're doing what you're doing. Okay, what's motivating you? What are the reasons that you're doing what you're doing? Why do you want to take the action? Why do you want to achieve the goal? And when we remind ourselves of our motivating factors, we get into that energetic space of really wanting to take action, don't we? And that space is far more conducive to us actually doing the things that we need to do than sitting on the sofa or curling up and snuggling back down underneath the duvet. Now, another activity that you can do is one where you're going to need a pen and a piece of paper. And it's to ask yourself these 4 key questions. Think about the task that you're putting off and ask yourself, what will happen if I do it? The next question is, what won't happen if I do it? The third question is, what will happen if I don't do it? And the fourth question is, what won't happen if I don't do it? And just enjoy that process, right? Just write out the answers to those questions. And again, that can really bring to top of mind the motivating factors, the consequences, both positive and negative, from taking or not taking the action. And it can really just spur you on. Now, the final one I want you to engage with and to try on is to actually imagine that it's 15 minutes after the successful completion of the task that you are resisting or that you're not doing or you're procrastinating about. I want you just to take a deep breath in and just imagine, close your eyes and imagine how you'll feel once you've finished, once you've actually taken that action. Enjoy those emotions and those sensations, knowing that you actually took the action that you needed to take to achieve that goal. And notice the difference, because I think what often happens is when we're procrastinating or when we're resisting doing something, or even when we're feeling bored and apathetic, we're embracing those emotions, we're entertaining them, aren't we? They're having a right old good time, but that right old good time doesn't serve us. So what we want to do is we want to be able to shift our state, our emotional state, to the one where we've achieved it. And we want to really get into that future moment of having taken that action and achieved what it is that we want to achieve, that we know that we need to achieve. And so those tips from me, I want you to try them on. Let me know which one works best for you, and perhaps there's a combination of them. Give them a go. If ever you feel like you're bored or apathetic, or I don't know, you're just procrastinating and can't be bothered, you want to get back under that duvet, give them a go. Let me know how you get on. And next week, we're going to begin our exploration of habits for success. I'll see you then. Bye for now. That wraps up this week's episode of the Mindset Coach podcast. Remember to join us next week for another episode, and subscribe on your favourite podcast app. Leave us a review if you've loved it, share it with your friends, and I really look forward to learning how you're implementing the tools and techniques that you're learning here. Mindset is everything.